No! Oh, I sat right on a cat completely. Yeah. I'm going to read you a poem today. It's about me when I was a little kid. I grew up in the town of Sedan. It's about riding a bicycle. Now this picture you're seeing of me, I normally don't wear a cowboy hat. I don't even ride a horse. But it's the only picture that I got of myself where I have a smile and my ears don't look too big. As I said before, I grew up in the town of Sedan, and at one time or another, I was friends with everybody in the town and everyone that lived there. The rest of the time, I wasn't their friend. So let me read you this story about me when I was riding bicycles when I was a little kid. It's entitled, Hands in My Pocket. My brother's bike was better than mine, but I could ride faster than him. My bike had a chain guard and fenders. His had better wheels and rim. He paid $5 for the bike that he rode. The one I had came from the dump. His stayed together in gravel and ditch, and mine fell apart when hitting a bump. His spokes were tight, his wheels were straight. My wheels tended to wobble. I evened that up by jumping on his one day when we got in a squabble. He could ride well without using his hands, something I was too scared to do. So when he wasn't around, I practiced like mad. I wanted to ride like that too. My brother was riding with his hands on his head. I answered with mine in my pocket. I was looking good in front of the girls. Then my pant leg got caught in a sprocket. My dad said a thing about pockets in pants. They sewed pockets in pants for a reason. For coins and nails and a place to put keys in, not for your hands, lest they're freezing. After the pain and the shame of face went away, my brother and I rode downtown on our bikes that day. A bike wreck occurred on the streets downtown. 2 kids fought there, round and round. We circled and we watched to see who beat who. But they turned on us when they were through. I pedaled for home so they wouldn't get me. I watched out the window, but I couldn't see. My bike was wrecked when I walked outside. The spokes were loose and the fork was bent wide. And I did nothing more for the treatment I got than live in a town where the kids always fought. Tomorrow they'll pay for what they were doing when I find their bikes and bring them to ruin. I found their bikes in the first light of day. I looked over my shoulder for my getaway, but I couldn't go through with the plan I laid. I loved their bikes the way they were made. One of them blue, the other one red. I headed home for breakfast instead. My bike was wrecked and I couldn't ride, so I strolled in a pasture when I went outside. I'd throw anything when I was a kid. One of my choices was a paint can lid. People today prefer the Frisbee for a tosser. I may do with what make do would offer. On the ground I searched for the perfect stone. If I found a flat one, it was great for throwing. Another choice was a hubcap of a car. I could whip a pie tin so it sailed real far. If it wasn't raining and the ground was dry, I was easily satisfied with a flat cow pie. The ones in the grass, I wouldn't try 'em. I couldn't pull 'em loose from the grass to fly 'em. The cows dropped the best ones in the summer sand, or if on a gopher mound they happened to land. Them's was the ones that made a good flying disc. I'd spin in a circle and give them a whisk. 2 naughty kids just happened by when I was inspecting a big cow pie. One on a red bike, the other riding blue. I sent fresh pie home with those 2.